Failing to respond to this outrageous attack would increase the risk that chemical weapons could be used again, that they would fall into the hands of terrorists who might use them against us, and it would send a horrible signal to other nations that there would be no consequences for their use of these weapons. I know, because during the 2 years that I campaigned for president, every town hall meeting I had, people would raise horrible stories about their experiences in the medical system. And I don't want them attacked or called horrible names because they're being good citizens.
And on crime, we in Canada read about the challenges that Mexico has on the drug cartels and the horrible violence that occurs down there.
The events of Good Friday were by all accounts a tragedy. An innocent man died a horrible death for the sins of the world.
Others, like Vincent Chin, who we lost 3 decades ago, have been victims of horrible hate crimes, driven by the kinds of ignorance and prejudice that are an affront to everything America stands for.
I was reminded of those horrible moments after the hijacking, when the passengers and crew were able to make frantic calls to speak to their loved ones for the last time.
The conversation you said one half of the figure on the taxi side. On the spending, the 1.2 trillion figure, is that something that you could see having a short-term postponement for? Because during the debate you said it's not going to happen.
That was a great question, but it would be a horrible precedent for me to answer your question just because you yelled it out. Remember that, parent? And they'd get all soft and mushy, and nobody wanted to eat a pea or a Brussels sprout because they tasted horrible because they were all mush. What we can do is to weaken it and to strengthen our partnerships in such a way that it does not pose the kind of horrible threat that we saw on 9/11. It becomes more dangerous not only for those people who are subjected to these horrible crimes, but to all of humanity. Even as we have been spending a lot of time on the Syria issue and making sure that international attention is focused on the horrible tragedy that occurred there, it is still important to recognize that we got a lot of more stuff to do here in this government. Now, in recent weeks, much of our attention has been focused on the events in Syria, the horrible use of chemical weapons on innocent people, including children, the need for a firm response from the international community. If you talk to somebody who said, well, I don't know, I was watching Fox News and they said this is horrible, and you can say, you know what, don't take my word for it, go on the website. Let's remember the horrible events that took place in Mumbai, but as recently as the last few days, India continues to suffer from terrorist attacks. Buffett likened default to a nuclear bomb, a weapon too horrible to use. Warren Buffett likened default to a nuclear bomb, a weapon too horrible to use. So these innocent families are faced with a horrible choice: descend the mountain and be slaughtered, or stay and slowly die of thirst and hunger.